Bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue à notre chaîne YouTube qui s'appelle JS Global Institute. C'est le 13e épisode du français à notre chaîne et aujourd'hui on va faire les adjectifs deuxième partie et les adjectifs de nationalité. Est-ce que vous êtes prêtes? Good evening to all. Welcome to our YouTube channel that is JS Global Institute. This is the 13th episode of French on our channel and today we are going to do adjectives, second part at nationalities in French. But before starting, if you are new to this channel and have not subscribed our channel yet, please press subscribe button and do not forget to press bell icon if you want to get further notifications from our channel. And second thing, we have recorded the previous lectures in the form of episodes, that is episode 1, 2, 3 up to episode number 12. So you can go and check them out. I am mentioning those links in the description. And now we are going to move towards our today's topic, that is les adjectifs. Okay students, we have done adjectives before as well. What are adjectives? Adjectives are the words that qualifies the noun that actually reflect the quality of the noun. Okay, and we have done in previous section as well that these are subdivided according to the gender, that is masculine, femina, masculine plural and femina plural. Okay, so now we are going to do the rest of the adjectives which were left in the previous lecture, and they are number 1. We have done this, but I have written it for once again so as to make you remember the adjectives that we have done, and you can also refer to the previous link in the description. Okay, number 1 is présent, which means present, and for femina we use présente, that is by adding a e. Okay, and for masculine plural it becomes présente with an s. Okay, so what we did here is that for masculine plural we add s, but not to the femina thing, to the masculine thing. Okay, so it becomes like présente. Okay, next is femina plural, that is présente. So here we add s to something that we had in the femina thing. Okay, so this becomes présente, and the pronunciation here becomes présent, présente, présente, présente. Okay, next one is opposite to that of présent, that is absent, absent. Okay, so what is this absent? Absent is absent. Okay, so for femina it becomes absente. For masculine plural it becomes absent with s. Feminine plural it becomes absent with es. Okay, alright, so now moving on, next one is sale. So what is the sale? This is something which is untidy, then we use the word sale. This remains the same for femina, and for masculine plural one s is added. Same happens with the femina plural as well. Okay, so what is the opposite of sale? That is propre, propre. Okay, so which means tidy, and propre has e, which is in contrast to that of sale. For sale we do not add an extra e over here, but this is not the case with the propre. We add an extra e to make it femina. Okay, so for masculine it's propre, for femina it's also propre, the pronunciation remains the same. For masculine plural an extra s is added over here, but the pronunciation remains the same, that is propre. Okay, and same is the case with the femina plural, that is es is added, or s is added to what we have for the femina. Okay, and the pronunciation remains the same, that is propre. Now we are going to move towards the next part of this les adjectifs, that is adjectives with some contrast. That is, we are going to learn basically the opposite words. Okay, so number 1 is gros. What is the pronunciation? Gros. We are not pronouncing the word s over here. Okay, so you have to look carefully. S is not being pronounced here. Gras means fat. Okay, someone who is fat, okay, and he is masculine, he is male member, then you will use the word gras. Okay, so here we are not using the complete French, but the exact phrase would be c'est gras, that is he is fat, he is gras. Okay, for femina it becomes gross, gross. Okay, so an extra s and e is added to this. Okay, so what is contrast to gross, what is contrast to fat? Fat has the contrast, that is thin, someone who is thin. Okay, so what will be the word that you will use? That is mince. Okay, same adjective is used for femina as well, that is mince. Okay, next one is mauvais. What is the pronunciation? Mauvais, 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 which means someone who is bad. Okay, so these are basically qualities. Okay, adjectives actually. So mauvais is someone who is bad and who is masculine. For femina it becomes mauvaise, an extra e is added and the pronunciation becomes mauvaise. Okay, so what would be the opposite for this? That is bon, bon. Okay, and for femina that becomes bonne, an extra n and e is added here. Okay, so one thing you have to keep in mind over here is that there is no as such rule, so you have to remember, you have to learn them in order to learn the French. Okay, so learn them accordingly. Next one is long, which means long as in English. For femina it becomes longue, longue with an extra u and e. What is the opposite for that, contrast for that? That is court, court, which means short. Okay, and for femina it becomes court, court. What is the difference between this court and court? Here the T sound is pronounced, but here T sound is absent. Okay, next one is courageux, courageux. What is courageux? Someone who is courageous. Okay, and for femina what happened here is courageux is turned into courageous, that is this ux gets converted into use. Okay, and what is the opposite for it? That is lâche, lâche, L-A chapeau C-H-E, which means someone who is coward. Okay, coward. Same is the case with the femina, the adjective does not change. Next one is lourd, lourd, which means something that is heavy. Okay, for femina an extra e is added and it becomes lourd. Okay, something which is light, the word uses léger, léger. Okay, and it remains the same for femina. Okay, so these two are the contrast, and I have two more. They are here. First is vrai, which means something that is true. Okay, femina of vrai is an extra e is added and the pronunciation remains the same, that is vrai. And the contrast to this, the opposite to this is faux, which means false. Okay, and the femina of false is fausse, fausse. Okay, next is faute. Faute means something that is strong, and the opposite for faute is faible, which means something that is weak. Okay, so these were the adjectives. You can have a look over here quickly. Okay, So they are présent, présente, 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 absent, absente, 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 sale, 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 propre, 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 and the adjectives with the contrast: gros, gross, mince, mince, mauvais, mauvaise, bon, bonne, long, longue, coûte, coûte, courageux, courageuse, lâche, lâche, loud, loud, léger, léger, and vrai, vrai, faux, fausse, faute, faute, fable, fable. Okay, so now we are going to move towards the next topic of today, that is les adjectifs de nationalité. Okay, so what are les adjectifs de nationalité? These are the nationalities. Okay, so for example, if I say I am Indian, I am Canadian, I am American, so this Indian, Canadian and American, these are basically nationalities, that is from which country we belong to. Okay, so what is country called in pays? It is called pays. Pays. It has spelling like P-A-Y-S and it has pronunciation like pays. Pays. Okay, so further these are divided into masculine, femina, masculine plural and femina plural. Okay, so now we will have a look that which country is called what and what are the nationalities for the respective countries. Okay, so number one is end. End. What is end? The name signifies end means something related to India. Yes, you are right. End means India. Okay, so India is basically called end in French. And what is the masculine nationality for this end? That is Indien. Indien. Okay, that is I-N-D-I-E-N and the pronunciation is Ian. Okay, and it becomes Indien. Okay, for femina an extra N and E is added to what we have for the masculine and the pronunciation changes and becomes Andien. Andien. Okay, and what happens for the masculine plural and femina plural? The masculine plural and femina plural is same as that we have done with the previous adjectives, that an extra S is added to what we have for the masculine and femina. Okay, so the pronunciation remains the same as that for the masculine, that is Indien, and for femina plural we have the pronunciation that is similar to that of what we have for the femina thing, that is Indien. Okay, so now let's move to the next country, that is Italy. Okay, can you see this? Yes, Italy, which means Italy. Okay, and the nationality is Italian. Italian. Okay, that is the same as that for the Indien, that is Ia is added at the end. Okay, and it becomes Italian. For femina it becomes Italian. Italian, that is an extra N and E is added over here. Okay, next one is Italian with an S. Okay, to what we have for the masculine. Okay, and for the femina again and S is added to what we have for the femina. Okay, and the pronunciation remains the same as that of the masculine and femina respectively, and it becomes Italian, 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 Italian. Okay, so this S is basically not pronounced even if it is written over here. Okay, next country is, next pays is Sheen. Sheen, which the name signify, that is China. Okay, so for China it is not Ian that is added, it is Ois. O-I-S. Okay, for masculine it is Chinois. Chinois. C-H-I-N-O-I-S. Okay, for femina it is Chinoise. chinois. An extra E is added. Here S is not pronounced and accordingly the pronunciation becomes chinois. Here S is pronounced because an extra E is added at the last, and in French we do not pronounce the last word, so accordingly this become chinois. Okay, and for masculine plural, what can be the case? As it is already ending with an S, so we do not add an extra S over here, it remains the same. But for the femina, we can add an S at the last because the last word is, the last alphabet is E over here, so accordingly an extra S gets added over here and it becomes chinois. The pronunciation remains the same, that is chinois, 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 chinois. Okay, moving to the next country, that is Switzerland. So what is Switzerland called? It is called Swiss. Swiss. S-U-I-S-S-E. The nationality for masculine and feminine for this country remains the same as that of the name of the pays, name of the country, that is Swiss. Swiss. Okay, so for masculine and feminine it remains the same. For masculine plural, an extra S is added to what we have. Okay, and the pronunciation becomes Swiss, 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 Swiss. Okay, so moving on, next is Angleterre. What is the pronunciation? Angleterre. A-N-G-L-E-T-E-R-R-E. that is England. Okay, what is the pronunciation? Angleterre. Okay, and the nationality for masculine is Anglais. Anglais. A-N-G-L-A-I-S. Okay, for feminine it is Anglaise with an E and the pronunciation with an S. Okay, for masculine plural it is Anglais, and for feminine plural with an extra S adding over here it become Anglaise. Okay, so the pronunciation is Anglais, Anglaise, Anglais, Anglaise. Okay, next one is Spain, and Spain is known as Espagne. Espagne. E-S-P-A-G-N-E. Okay, and the nationality for masculine people is Espagnol. Espagnol. Okay, with an O-L at the ending. For femina, as usual, an extra E is added. For masculine plural, S, and for the femina plural, we have S to what we have for the femina. And accordingly, the pronunciation is Espagne, Espagnol, 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 and Espagnol. Okay, moving on, Japon. So, as the name signifies, this is Japan. Okay, Japon. And what is the nationality of Japon? That is Japonais with an AIS. Okay, Japonaise for femina with an extra E and the pronunciation of the S. And for masculine plural, we do not add an extra S over here because at the ending we already have an extra S. And for the feminine plural, we add an extra S over here and it becomes Japanese. So overall pronunciation is Japon, Japonais, Japonaise, Japonais, Japonaise. Okay, next is États-Unis. Okay, so what is the pronunciation? I think this is a bit difficult. It is États-Unis. États-Unis. It is E with an accent aigu, T-A-T-S and hyphen U-N-I-S. États-Unis. That is US. Okay, and the nationality is America, that is A-M-E accent aigu R, here there is I as well, C-A-I-N. Okay, and for femina it is American with an E. Okay, for masculine plural with an S, and for femina plural it is American with an extra S to what we have for the femina. Okay, next one is France. Okay, so what is France called? That is actually the same, the France. Okay, and for masculine the nationality becomes Français. Français. Okay, that is F-R-A-N-C with the CD below C-A-I-S. So what is this CD? This is like if we write C, then it produce sound like K, but if we add an S like thing below the C, it produce sounds like S. Okay, so here it is written Français, Français. Okay, and for femina it become Française with an E, and here the S is not added, but here with the femina plural and extra S is added. Accordingly the pronunciation becomes Français, Française, Français, Française. Okay, so now let's have a quick review over these nationalities. Number one is Andien, Andian, Andien, Andian, Italy, Italien, 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 Chine, Chinois, Chinoise, Chinois, Chinoise, Suisse, 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 Angleterre, Anglais, Anglaise, Anglais, Anglaise, Espagne, Espagnol, 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 Japon, Japonais, Japonaise, Japonais, Japonaise, États-Unis, America, American, America, American, France, Français, 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 Française, Français, Française. Okay, so these were les adjectifs de nationalité. I hope you got them, but if you are unable to learn them, then do not worry. These does not are that easy. I mean, they are easy, but it takes some time to grasp. So if you are unable to learn them, just grab them as they are. Okay, try to understand them and then try to learn them. Okay, because only learning is going to help you. At initial stages you have to learn the things, you have to learn the basics as they are, so as to make the foundation better for further French practice. Okay students, so this was today's lesson, but I want to mention one thing over here. Students, JS Global Institute is located in Jagraon, Punjab, and we deal in with various services such as PR application, study visa, IELTS exam preparation, and many more. So if you have any query related to immigration process or you want to visit us, feel free to contact us. I will give the details in the description. And thank you so much for watching. If you liked my video, please press like button. And if you still not have subscribed our channel yet, please press subscribe button and do not forget to share my video too. Thank you so much.